Good morning, guys. It is probably around 8:30 a.m. now, so we just finished having breakfast. Today we had muffins, bananas, and yogurt, and I'm about to brush my teeth and get dressed, and we're going to hit the road. But this is our view this morning, and yes, it looks like it's still overcast and dreary, but according to the weather forecast by noon hour, it's going to totally clear up and it's going to be a really nice hot day here in Halifax, but like not quite as hot in the location we'll be going to for whale watching. So come along. We're almost there. We still have 20 minutes to go, and we're looking at, I guess these are mountains, and some of the clouds are really low. Cool.
We're at sea level though.
I don't know. That's cool. I think it's fog. I don't think it's actual clouds. It's just fog.
It's hard to tell.
But we are kind of on top of the mountain now, I guess. Or a hill or whatever it was that we were looking at. Okay, so we've made it to the dock for a whale watching trip. Right now they're loading a ferry with cars to take across to the other side, to the other island over there. This is cool. I've never actually seen a ferry that takes cars before. I know that there's one in Toronto, but I've never actually seen it, because I think usually where we go is just to catch the ferry to Center Island, so we never get to see the... It can actually hold quite a bit.
So 8 per row.
8 per row.
So 24.
It's pretty good. Huh. Wow. So this is the area, but I'm sure we're gonna go out like somewhere else. There's these cool rocks behind us. I've noticed that like it's very rocky wherever we were driving. Like there's a lot of this and a lot of trees, basically. Some more rocks down there. Got some fog still in the distance, hanging down over the hills there. Take you guys over to the other side. Are there more cars coming? Be careful, I think there's more cars coming to the ferry. So over here, there's another clearing, and if you guys can see way at the end of that little island, there's a lighthouse. I'm not sure which lighthouse that is, but we noticed in the map of the area that there's one called a Point Prim lighthouse, which is really funny because where we stayed in PEI, there was also a Point Prim lighthouse at the end of our road that we didn't actually go and see, but later found out it was the oldest lighthouse on the island. Coming for our boat.
Those are porpoise in the background over there. Over on the side of the boat before we're okay. There it is right there. Oh, cool. He's just kind of hanging. Right up front. Did you hear?
Did you see it? Oh, over there. It's out there.
Smell it. Yeah, can you smell that foul smell? That's what I mean. We're right on, directly on top of this ledge, Jerry. We're in about 60, 70 feet of water. If you go any direction, you'll go to 300 feet really quick.
Ryan, did you see him?
No. It was at like 2 o'clock. It was headed this direction.
Ole! That's what he's done. Yeah. That is huge. They don't If this is the same whale, his name is a Greek. All of these whales are named. Like we have fingerprints. These whales have prints on the underneath of their tail or their foot, and that's how we tell them apart.
Cool. Oh my god, that's so awesome. I got that one on video. Huh? No, I didn't. Oh my god. It's hard to zoom in though without going blurry. other side, eh? We went way out that way. So these were the whales we saw today. We saw a humpback. And we saw a minke. And we saw porpoises. We also saw some seals poking their heads out of the water, but a lot of the times they were too far out to film. There was one that was near us, but I wasn't quick enough to get that one on film. So yeah, that's what we saw, but these were the main ones that I managed to get on film, the minke and the humpback. Guys, we have come to basically the end of our trip vlogs. The next vlog is going to be us heading home and picking up Riley, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so I realized again I did not close off this vlog or finish it off. So the last footage I had was us driving back from the whale watching. So the whale watching was an experience. We did see, like I said, we saw the humpback whale several times. That was the one that you saw at the end that put its tail up in the air twice. That was the humpback whale. The minke whale does not put its tail up. So we only saw that one like kind of surfacing. And it was really cool with the humpback. We were able to see like the air come out of its blowhole and everything. So that was really awesome. Apparently there was a puffin or two in a group of birds, and I got a quick video, but looking at the video, like I can't spot a puffin in there because like usually puffins have like bright orange beaks. So I don't know, like I didn't really catch the puffin that apparently was there, which is a shame because I would have loved to have seen a puffin. There were porpoises that were jumping out of the water, but they were so far out that my camera couldn't pick them up. So I wasn't able to get those on video. I just was watching them. And, you know, like you couldn't really make them out very well. You just saw like black figures kind of, you know, jumping in the water like that. And there was quite a few of them way out in the distance. But it was really foggy. I don't know what happened. I thought it was supposed to be a clear day, but I guess apparently when you go out into the middle of the ocean, a lot of time you're going to hit fog, and it was really cold and really windy. And we were not prepared for that. We thought it was going to be a hot day. The only thing I was prepared with was a sweater. I brought a sweater, but I was wearing, excuse me, capris, and I was wearing Crocs, and I was freezing. But thankfully, like, my sweater pretty much kept me warm for half the trip, but on the way back, I did have to use one of the blankets on board. Alex was in shorts and a t-shirt and Crocs, so he was freezing even more than me. And unfortunately, Alex did get a little bit seasick at the beginning, because a lot of times the captain would stop the boat, and we had to be super quiet so that the captain could listen to hear whale sounds. Now, somehow I did not hear any of the whale sounds when we were there. Alex said that he did a few times, and as I was editing the video, in one of the video clips, I did in fact hear one on my video. But for some reason in person, I couldn't hear it. I'm not sure why. I think I was sort of like on sensory overload, because when we were stopped like that, you're just constantly like looking everywhere, because these are wild whales, dolphins, whatever, and you don't know where they're gonna pop up or when they're gonna pop up. So you're just constantly like looking around, and so I think I was so preoccupied looking and watching that I didn't hear the sound. So it was cool to hear it on the video when I was editing. What else? So yes, Alex got seasick because when the boat would stop, it would really rock back and forth. Like, I mean, it was like going like this. And I was worried I was going to get sick too, because I do get motion sickness sometimes. And I started to feel a little nauseous, but I tried to just like ignore it and not dwell on it. And I just tried to focus on looking for the whales and things like that. And it kind of helped. So I was like standing up on the seat while the boat's going like this and everything, because they said that we could stand up on the seats to get a better view. So I just was really focused on that, and I was really trying to like distract Alex and try to get him focused on it too, but he was really not feeling well at all. He started to feel dizzy and nauseous. So, and then he was freezing cold on top of it. So I felt really bad. Now, thankfully the boat did have blankets on board, so I did get a blanket for him. And then thankfully, like, once the humpback whale came, because the humpback whale was really quite active and was coming up quite a bit, Alex did finally like get up, and he came over to that side of the boat and was, sorry for that background noise, it's our dishwasher. And he came and stood beside me, and he got to see the humpback whale and that. So he was quite, you know, happy, and he started to feel better once he started to watch the humpback whale and everything. So, you know, and that's why, like, I kept trying to tell him, like, just try to focus, like, because I was starting to feel sick too. But as soon as I, like, just focused on looking and everything, it really made a difference. And I found standing up on the boat when it was rocking helped more than sitting down. So, yeah, but I think for him it was mostly like he was trying to focus on the horizon to like not feel sick, but because it was so foggy you could barely see the horizon, so I think that didn't help. But anyways, he started to feel better once the humpback whale came, and then by the time we got back to shore he was fine. And he, you know, he was able to enjoy the boat ride back. Also, when the boat would stop and the engine would turn off and we would all have to be silent, it was the coolest yet creepiest thing I have ever experienced in my life. And Alex said the same thing. And a lot of people, I think, felt it. Like, it was, okay, it was almost like the definition of a Taylor Swift lyric. Like, I'm totally going to reference Taylor Swift right now. There's this one lyric in one of her songs that says, "I've never heard silence quite this loud." And that was exactly what came to mind at the moment. Like the first time we stopped and were silent. Like when the captain told us to, you know, be quiet so we could listen. You're literally like in the middle of the ocean. You can't see land anywhere. Like no matter where we looked, it was just water everywhere and fog. And everyone was so quiet. Like there was a little toddler on board and she would occasionally make noise, but other than that, like, it was, like, deafening silence. It was crazy. Like, I just, like I said, like, the first thing that came to mind was Taylor Swift's lyrics of "Never heard silence quite this loud," because it was literally like that. Like, you could hear a pin drop. Or, I don't even know if it was that either. Like, I don't know. It was a silence I've never heard in my life. And then the eerie thing about it was every few, I don't know if it was like every few seconds or like every minute or so, you would hear in the distance, I guess it was a foghorn. So you would just occasionally hear like a, and then it would be like silent. And then you would just hear like echoing in the distant, and it was like, it was so creepy. And like someone was like, this feels like, or I think it was actually when we first started our boat ride and we started to get out into like the real foggy area where there was no land. And they were like, man, this feels like, the beginning of a like fisherman horror movie or something. So yeah, like it was really creepy. It was really, I've never experienced anything like that. Same with Alex. Like we kept talking about it afterwards. Like it was so crazy how dead silent it was. And I mean, because like there's no traffic, there's no birds chirping, like there is no civilization anywhere. Except for like the people on board the boat, which have been told to be like zip it, nothing. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever experienced. And then we basically went into there was like a little cafe right at the waterfront there, and we had lunch there before going out on the boat. And so we went back in there to have a bathroom break and to warm up because we were freezing. And then it started to clear up a bit. But by the time we got back closer to our cabin, it was starting to like get cloudy, rainy again. Basically, once we got back near our cabin, we decided to go back to the Italian restaurant that we went to our first night in Nova Scotia, because it was super close to our cabin and it was getting late and we were starving and we really liked the food there. So we went back there and Alex tried a different dish, and I actually got the dish that he got the first time we went because I had tried it and I really liked it. So I got that. It was a pasta dish. So we had like kind of a late dinner. We basically got there around the same time we did the first time we went there, which was kind of funny. So we had a late dinner and then just got back to our cabin, packed up our stuff. We didn't really have to pack up too much because this cabin was a lot smaller than our last cabin. So we were basically living out of our suitcases because we didn't really have room to unpack. So it was just basically like some last minute things like toiletries, laundry, and souvenirs that we had to pack up basically. So that wasn't too bad. And then we called it a night and we were ready to head home the next day. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing our trip to Prince Edward Island in Nova Scotia. I do have some final thoughts on the trip that will be at the end of the next vlog. So like the vlog once we get home kind of has like my final thoughts on there. So stay tuned for that, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.